Peace. What is up, everyone? I am OnenO. Welcome back to week number 13 of the Course in Miracles. I got one of my new favorite t-shirts on. I got from a new friend from last year. I don't know if you can read it on camera, but we're all one, baby. You ready to get into it? Let's do it. Welcome back. Okay, it is a beautiful day outside today, and we're going to jump into week number 13 of the Course in Miracles. So what that means is we're going to be doing the final 6 lesson days of review and then 1 lesson day of new lessons. So for these 6 days of review, I'm just going to read the lessons. I'm going to read only two paragraphs from the breakdown, from 2 of the lessons, and then I'm going to break down the next lesson, which will be 91, I believe. So starting with lesson 85, we're going to be going over lessons 69 through 80 once again. Very briefly, let's do this. Lesson 69. My grievances hide the light of the world in me. Lesson 70. My salvation comes from me. Lesson 71. Only God's plan for salvation will work. Lesson 72. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Lesson 73. I will there be light. Lesson 74. There is no will but God's. Lesson 75. The light has come. Lesson 76. I am under no laws but God's. Lesson 77. I am entitled to miracles. Lesson 78. Let miracles replace all grievances. Lesson 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And finally, lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Pause for the plane. So before we move on to lesson 91 now with the one new lesson for this video, I want to do lesson 79 and 80 one more time and give you the paragraph for each one of those. So lesson 79 is, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me realize today that the problem is always some form of grievance that I would cherish. Let me also understand that the solution is always a miracle with which I let the grievance be replaced. Today I would remember the simplicity of salvation by reinforcing the lesson that there is one problem and one solution. The problem is a grievance, the solution is a miracle. And I invite the solution to come through me. And I invite the solution to come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance and my welcome of the miracle that takes its place. Let that sink in. Lesson 80 said, let me recognize my problems have been solved. I seem to have problems only because I am misusing time. I believe that the problem comes first and time must elapse before it can be worked out. I do not see the problem and the answer as simultaneous in their occurrence. This is because I do not yet realize that God has placed the answer together with the problem so that they cannot be separated by time. The Holy Spirit will teach me this if I will let Him, and I will understand it is impossible that I could have a problem which has not been solved already. I really like that paragraph breakdown because it really summarizes how anytime you think you have a problem, you're actually being gifted a change in your world. And so the problem and the answer to the problem are always presented at the same time. Okay, now that wraps up our review period, and I'm gonna move to lesson 91, which is our last lesson for this video for this week. Week number 13, can you believe it? Holy cow. Okay, lesson 91, miracles are seen in light. I'm going to read just a couple sentences from here, and then I'm going to summarize the rest, because this lesson was very in-depth and I got a lot from it. So the couple sentences I'm going to read from are as follows. It is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is affected. You will see them in the light, and you will not see them in the dark. While you remain in the darkness, the miracle remains unseen. Thus you are convinced it is not there. Denial of the light leads to failure to perceive it. Let me say that again. Denial of light leads to failure to perceive it. Failure to perceive light is to perceive darkness. The light is useless to you, even if it is there. You cannot use it because its presence is unknown to you, and the seeming reality of the darkness makes the idea of light meaningless. To be told that what you do not see is there sounds like insanity. It is very difficult to become convinced that it is insanity not to see what is there and to see what is not there instead. Okay, so this is really showing you the layers of which we can get lost in this game that we play in our minds. So what I really wanted to break down from here is the idea of light and what it's talking about. What it's talking about is that in your higher states of awareness, you can perceive how to heal and transform your life. In your darkened state of awareness, you cannot even perceive that there is another way of living. So therefore, what it's getting at is, let's use a practical example. Let's say that I have beef with a friend. I have a friend and we have beef with one another. And I can tell that we are at two different places of perceiving things. So let's say that this person has wronged me, and let's say that I feel that I deserve some kind of action or something to be healed from this grievance that now I hold, which is the pain and suffering that this friend has caused me. So if I just focus on the darkness here, I will never be privy to the miracle that I could offer and also receive in the middle of this situation. You see, the situation was created for me to be able to find a couple things. First of all, I could see my own judgments reflected back to me between myself and my friend in this hypothetical situation, because my friend would be showing me something that I consider to be negative, and therefore I'm judging in my mind space. I get to see in a real, tangible reflection form something that if I was to offer it a different energy, aka if I was to offer it a miracle or offer it healing, it could be changed and transformed into something else. So if I stay only perceiving the darkness and not ever looking towards the light for the way that this situation could be changed, could be transmuted, then I will stay in identifying with the darkened form of what I perceive, which is the grievance. And I will only stay focused on the grievance, on how I've been wronged. But yet if I can get out of the darkness and remember that the light is there waiting for me to perceive it, and in fact it's only me that has shut my eyes to the light. If I open my eyes to the light, that is the moment where I will perceive miracles. And then it is my choice if I choose to bring that miracle from the imaginal space into the real world and create it on earth. In other words, bringing heaven into earth. If I do that, I am offering forgiveness and healing and otherwise a miracle to my brother or to my friend or to whomever has harmed me. And so the idea is to completely let go of grievances. It is only the ego that wants to hold on to grievance, and therefore, if you can let go of grievance, you are simultaneously letting go of the ego and letting your true divine spirit be the source from which you get your divine inspiration on how you are going to behave in your life. The only teacher that will ever teach you this comes from within. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. I just want to remind you one more sentence. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is effective. You will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark. Therefore, seek the light, my brothers and my sisters, and you will be able to find the miracles that you are looking for within. And when you bring them into the real world, you will be changing the world in a divine way, in a way that will have a ripple effect beyond your one action. And that is how you live in divine guidance. So there's so much more I want to say. I'm so stoked that I get to make these videos. Thanks again for tuning in for week number 13. I'm going to wrap it up here. All right, please go over to the website at iamoneno.com. Check out the blog, sign the email list so you can get all of my video updates. And if you have a question, leave it down below. Click that like button and the subscribe button. And until I see you again along the journey, oneness in sound, I am OnenO. Peace.